Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's talk about solid waste management. Now, first of all, how can we classify solid waste? Now, the solid waste refers to all non-liquid waste. So, solid state में जो भी waste है, that will be termed as solid waste. Now, we have to manage it as we have to manage the wastewater and effluents and other waste. Why so? Because if we don't, that can lead to certain problems, certain diseases, and so many other factors as well. This can create health problems because there are so many organisms, microorganisms, and mosquito, and so other many things which can dwell on this solid waste. This may provide breeding sites for insects, vectors, pests, vermin, snakes, and so many other such organisms. And all these can spread so many different types of diseases. It may also pollute water sources. अगर हम solid waste को भी manage नहीं करते and we don't take care of it, it can also lead to contamination of the water. There are so many risks which are associated with the mismanagement of solid waste. First of all is the disease transmission. Due to the mismanagement of solid waste, if you do not dispose of it correctly in the rightful manner, it can lead to the spread of so many different diseases. Decomposing organic waste material, obviously it attracts animals, vermin, flies, and mosquitoes, and so many other things as well. Flies may play a major role in transmission of so many things, so many diseases. We all know there are so many diseases which fly act as a carrier, as a vector, and transfer those germs, those microorganisms from one side to another, from one organism to another. Like for example, fecal oral diseases could spread. Rodents can also contribute to the spread of diseases, for example, leptospirosis. Moreover, these solid wastes, when they are not disposed of correctly, they can also lead to they can also serve as a breeding site for mosquitoes. How can it happen? Because mosquitoes mostly, the breeding site of mosquitoes is water or stagnant water or other such water bodies. There are certain kinds of solid waste which can hold rainwater. For example, disposed of cans, those can hold rainwater, and this stagnant water can serve as breeding site for mosquitoes. And there are so many different species of mosquitoes which can cause and spread so many different types of diseases. For example, Aedes genus of mosquito can spread dengue fever, and Anopheles, obviously we know it can spread malaria. So yes, the solid waste can also give rise to the population of mosquitoes, which can then spread different types of diseases. In other case, when there is a lesser quantity of food available to different types of animals, insects, they then move towards such solid waste in order to find food for themselves, in order to scavenge it. So in doing so, they can not only spread diseases, they can also bring direct harm to the nearby population as well, depending on what kind of organism is there. So they are likely to increase so many different diseases. For example, gastroenteritis, dysentery, and other illnesses can be spread. Another risk factor associated with the mismanagement of solid waste is pollution, obviously. Poor management of the solid waste can lead to leachate pollution. When we do not dispose of the solid waste correctly, obviously if it is degradable, it will start decomposing, and it can release leachate, which can leach down into the groundwater. And if the waste was containing some kind of toxic compound, that can be very harmful. It is now toxifying the drinking water. So whoever will drink that water will face certain diseases. Now, where large quantities of dry waste are stored, especially in hot climates, this can lead to the fire incidences as well, and fire hazard is there as well, and obviously that can also cause threat to the human life and other organisms as well. The last risk associated with mismanagement of the waste is the effect on morale. Obviously, if someone is living in untidy environment, unhygienic environment, it will cause negative effect on their morale, and they will feel less motivated. I think same is happening to our populations as well, that most of our cities have been unable to manage the solid waste, and therefore we are not that much positive minded, we are not that much motivated. You can see here, even the literature says that this can lead to demoralization, and it can also have effect on motivation of individuals. Wastewater attracts waste. वेस्ट अट्रैक्ट्स वेस्ट. ऑब्वियसली हमने देखा है कि जहाँ पे किसी ने वेस्ट स्टार्ट करना शुरू किया तो अदर पीपल स्टार्ट डूइंग फॉलोइंग द सेम प्रैक्टिस, एंड विच इज़ नॉट गुड एज वेल, and this leads to a general behavior which is not suited to a society. So this was about the solid waste management. We'll talk more about it in our next coming lessons.